Hi everyone, Jess here, and today I'm joined with Stefan Rhein, Project Manager of Aviation at Bavaria. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course. Thank you very much for having me again. And I can't believe it's been a year since you guys were here in Munich, and it's exciting to talk to you again.
Absolutely, the year's flown, but there's been a lot of development in the landscape, which we'll really get into. And of course, you were on site with us last April, but this year Bavaria is going to be joining us as a partner, so we'll get into that later. But first, I thought we could start with a quick discussion about how the landscape has progressed and what comes next.
Absolutely. So I'm a project manager for advanced air mobility, and there was a lot of change over the last 12 months since we chatted. We have a few new players here in Germany who came on the market. One of them is ERC Systems. They are making an eVTOL that is designed to transport patients from the scene of accident to the hospital directly. They launched their new eVTOL or displayed it the first time last year in July. So that was very exciting to see having a new player on the market.
Absolutely, and the landscape really is changing quickly. So we'll get into the key players a little more later. But how do you think what are some of the major developments that have happened in the last 12 months or so?
Of course, like I said, we have a couple new players, but also the big news that was unfortunate was the bankruptcy of Lilium and Volocopter, two of our major players. But we also see and saw how quick Lilium went out of the bankruptcy and are back on track with their certification and their testing here in southern Germany. Another major development was a strategy of the German federal government and a roadmap they put up last year in December. What was really exciting because it definitely shows that the Ministry of Transportation here in Germany is encouraging to promote advanced air mobility, and they see that as part of the future of transportation.
That's great. So coming into from this sort of unified ecosystem approach to integrate these new forms of travel and technology. And you touched on a couple of names, of course. Lilium and Volocopter have been in the news a huge amount recently. When we think about the other key names in this global competitive market, who would you point out as players to watch?
Oh, absolutely. Joby, I think it's one of these top players to watch. Um, and Archer and Vertical Aerospace as well. They are just companies that are very impressive. Their testing, their development over the last few years. But also closer to home, Airbus UAM is coming out as well with their own eVTOL. They just done some test flights late last year and also planning on being on the market by the end of this decade.
Fantastic. So there's a lot of change going on in the space, and it does look like quite a tight race, as it were, with between these sort of leading figures. If we look sort of closer to home for you, what would you say the key milestones or challenges are for the Bavarian aerospace ecosystem specifically, perhaps in like the next 12 months or 24 months?
Okay. I think one of the biggest um, challenges is the financing. It does cost a lot of money to finance an airplane, the development of an airplane, and also then trying to be on the market and getting customers to purchase it. But also then seeing how do we integrate those new airplanes, those new players into the current ecosystem of commercial aviation. There's definitely a lot of questions still open.
Definitely. So it'll be interesting to see when we check in, perhaps in the next year or so, what the key developments have been. And Can you explain a bit about why you decided to partner with ATW for Munich 2025?
Absolutely. Aerospace Tech Week is one of those conventions for the aviation industry that is very close to home. It is in Munich. We are very happy to have it here. It is right in our backyard. Um, it's also gives us a nice update on really what happened over the last year. It gives us the personal network, and best thing, it's close to home. I'd be sleeping in my own bed at night.
That definitely does
Yeah,
have its perks. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today, Stefan, and I look forward to seeing you in April.
of course. Thank you so much, and happy to see you also in April.